Good afternoon and welcome. Today we have a conversation with Jonathan Brindley of JBUAS. This is going to be our chance to find out more about him, about what he does and what gets him up in the morning. So Jonathan, tell me a little bit more about yourself in the first instance. Why did you start JBUAS? Who are you? Where did this background sort of bring you into the drone sector?
So that's a really good question. So I spent 20 years in the power generation industry, working for various companies people will be well aware of. And part of one of my roles during that time, and it was my last one actually, was head of renewables. And part of that job was to analyse the cost savings of drones versus helicopters for near-shore inspections of wind turbines. And it was at that time that I realised that drones were the future. When I looked at the costings, you could see that drones were going to take over from helicopters. And as we all know now, most of the inspections done on not just near shore, but also further out to sea are all done by drones now. So at that time, I thought to myself, if I ever get an opportunity to come and work in the sector, I would do. It took a bit longer to come in than when I originally anticipated, but here I am. So that's what fueled the ambition.
It's a really good story about how you get into it, and it's one that we hear about quite a bit from people who have come in from different sectors and bring that passion from an old career through to the drone side of things, and it's great to see it too. So what is it that actually gets you up in the morning?
Yeah, so what gets me up in the morning is it's really about telling people about drones and about how they can be used to solve their some of the challenges they face in their businesses. I think it's also that there's a big part of me that likes the idea of imparting knowledge on people and to see that they actually get it and that they can come away with something they didn't know before and how they can use that in their business. So that's really, I suppose, the biggest part of what I do right now. But there are, I mean, we may get into it a little bit later, but also some of the most important, well, not say important aspects, some of the most enjoyable aspects that I have. We can go into that. I mean, it's probably a question you're going to ask. I don't know.
So what have you learned along the way in running a business? Because obviously coming from the renewable sector and the energy sector, coming in and starting up and running your own business, that must be very different. What have been the ups and downs, the highs and lows there?
Well, there's been quite a few actually highs and lows. There's been more lows than highs, I can tell you. Anybody that runs their own business knows that running it's a very busy. It can be quite stressful, but I think you just you've got to be focused on what you believe in, and then you get things done. But I've actually got. I think generally speaking, I've got the most out of just seeing how difficult it is and this market is, but also seeing how to get well known in the market. That is, those people that know me know that it's taken probably 3 to 5 years now to get really well known in the marketplace for what I do. It's taken a lot of hard work, but seeing the potential of the market, from the early beginnings in the power industry, my thoughts of this could be the future, to actually see it for real. And actually see all the developments that are going on, not just in the niche that I kind of live in, but also more BVLOS and also the technologies that I'm seeing now with AI and so on. That's pretty impressive. So that's something that I try to stay close to.
So Jonathan, there you touched on something that is obviously very crucial to this chat. What is your niche? Where do you sit within the drone sector? What is it that you actually do?
So that's a really good question. I mean, a lot of people that are in our industry, in the drone industry, are used to flying quite high in the sky. So let's say 50 meters, usually doing photogrammetry or LiDAR. Well, my niche is more towards 1 meter above the ground. So very much a completely different kind of area of the sky. And it's a very specialist area because whereas you have much more room to maneuver up when you're at 50 meters, down at that level, you really need special equipment to make sure that the drone stays at an equidistance above the ground. So it's and that kind of equipment kit that you need is kind of what I specialize in. So I kind of specialize in the equipment that will allow a drone to not only fly close to the ground, but also I specialize in the kits that you can be attached to that core kit, if you like, to do different kinds of investigations below ground level. So looking for things like archaeology, geology. We're looking for utilities. So there's a heap of area that I deal in that is just outside of photogrammetry and LiDAR, but it tends to be very low to the ground. So that's my niche area that I deal with.
That's right. So I remember that we ran a webinar with you a while ago now, looking at methane detection over landfill sites as well, which I'm absolutely fascinated by the topic that it could be used, that your systems could be used in such a way. And I found that really, really interesting. What have you learned along the way? What would you do differently?
You're asking a really good questions, aren't you? What would I do differently? So I think sometimes I would have probably, like as I said at the beginning, coming into the market, the drone market, and becoming well known. You live by your reputation, and sometimes it's better to sort of slow down a little bit in this marketplace, understand the complexities of it. So I think. Early on, I was probably a little bit too eager. So if I was going to do things differently, I would probably just slow down a little bit and maybe do my research a little bit more. But saying that, I have learned it a lot during the last 4 years working in this industry. Some great people, always willing to share their knowledge, which is really helpful, and always wanting to further the industry. The industry. One thing that I have learned is it's got a lot going for it. There's a lot of aspects in the future that drones they're going to be used, from transport all the way through to doing like detection for emergencies and so on. So it's a really, really big market. So, but I think I would, if I was going to do anything differently. That of course, learning is a big part of getting into a market and building a business, and that's really important. But I think one thing I've learned being in the market is sometimes just to look around a bit more. So maybe I should have done that a bit earlier on.
I do understand that, and I'm delighted to hear that you found the industry on the whole so collaborative and so informative along the way. That's really good news, and it's great for the industry as a whole, because we can get where we need and where our members need to be faster that way. What part of what you do gives you the most satisfaction, the most enjoyment?
So the most enjoyment, if I'm going to be completely honest, is there are probably two aspects to this. I mean, I've touched on one of them already, which is the imparting of knowledge. I always had myself down as being maybe in the future retiring into some kind of lecturer. I remember when I was doing my A levels, I had somebody in that who was really, really important in my studies, and trying to mimic that kind of approach would be really good. And I sort of had myself down. So the imparting of knowledge and all that is really important to me. I really like that. When I see different companies, they're all specialists in their own field, but not specialists in my niche. And when they see that I'm delivering the value that they were expecting, and that's something that they didn't know, and now they can go and use that and utilize it, that gives me a great satisfaction. And I guess, like I said, it comes back to that, I suppose, an inert part of me that wants to kind of, teach in the future. Maybe that's part of it. The second part, which is really important to me, one part of the of what I do, which is really, really important to me, is also as somebody who studied archaeology, only at A level, mind you, but somebody who's always had let's say, a secret passion for the Romans and that kind of all things Roman. It's the archaeology side, I would say, that I get most out of. I've been involved in a number of trials in recent times for archaeology using drone technology, where we've compared terrestrial and drone technology. In fact, upcoming open days on the 7th and 8th of July will include a county archaeologist. It will include a comparison of terrestrial and drone data so that people can see the difference. I see that there are a lot of archaeology companies going to that, which is great. We also have Historic England going there, Historic Scotland, and a few other institutions as well who are also very interested to see that comparison. So yeah, the archaeology is something that I really, really enjoy, and I have been known to basically, without fee, go out and just do archaeology with the drone just because, for the sheer hell of it. So I think people that know that I do go out at weekends and give my weekends up and just do trials and tests. So yeah, archaeology is a passion.
I can tell. That is definitely coming through in how you talk about it. So if people want to know a bit more about this upcoming event that you're holding, what is it, where is it, when is it, and how do they get involved? So
it's a biennial event, so we only have it every 2 years. We had the first one 2 years ago in 2024. That was a single day, but by popular demand, we're including a second day now. So it's going to be at the JBUAS Test and Training Centre, which is in a place called Crowland, just outside Peterborough, 20 minutes off the A1. It's very easy to get to. And that will be 2 days where we have all the different manufacturers that support JBUAS. So that will include SBH, Census, Medusa, RADSYS. They will all be coming and giving presentations of the new technologies, new integrations, new innovations, and we will then fly the sensors, and we will then collect data in front of all our guests, and we will then discuss the data. There's like I was just saying, there are other things as well that are other presentations that are going to be ongoing. We've got a really good presentation from ERCS, who are quite well known in the construction industry and housing development industry, where they're using geophysical technology, like what we get involved with, to help housing developers. So that's going to be really interesting, and how they're adopting the technology. And also, as I said, there'll be also this. We're pleased to have a sort of an independent county archaeologist, or somebody who supports the county archaeologists to look at the ground pre-construction and help in that regard. So yeah, there's going to be a lot going on. On the end of the first day, we will have there'll be pizzas. The bar will be open because it's being held at the 𝗵𝗫 Gliding Club. So we've got a bar for those who aren't driving. If you're really unlucky, you can stay for my presentation, which is this year is going to be on Roman aqueducts. So that's what I'm going to be doing this year.
Fantastic. I'm definitely going to have to catch up with you at some point on the Roman side of things, because equally I'm very enthusiastic about it too. And aqueducts have always been a bit of a passion. Jonathan, that sounds fascinating. Good couple of days full of knowledge, full of information. I wish you all the very best for it, and I will catch up with you afterwards and see if we can do something around that too. I think we've covered everything that we need to at the moment in this chat. Great.
Well, thanks very much for your time. And yeah, we'll catch up soon.
We will indeed. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.